All right, guys, reacting to my own video, I taught this 5'8" guy how to dunk. I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes info.
We dunking, baby.
We dunking, baby.
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Q, and for my entire life, I always wondered what it would be like to fly through the rim like Michael Jordan in the NBA dunk contest, tongue out and everything. I come from a basketball family, so
I didn't know
runs
this
in my
part.
blood. But since I'm only 5'8", it's
I didn't know
been a little
dunking
more
ran in the
difficult for me.
blood.
So for the last 8 weeks, I've been learning to dunk with NBA specialist trainer Paul Favorites.
That's your boy.
And tomorrow's our final assessment to see how much higher I'm jumping now versus when we first started. But before we get to that, I want to show you guys everything we've been through for the past 2 months to get me to where I am today.
I'm Coach Paul.
So when Q hit me up, Q's with BuzzFeed, and you guys can go watch the entire BuzzFeed video. I'm going to kind of skim through this and give you some behind-the-scenes stuff and some additional tips. When Q hit us up, he said, hey, I'm a 5'8" BuzzFeed reporter. I want to train for 8 weeks to dunk. I'm like, no. And I don't see all the emails. Ashley sees the emails. She brings me the ones that I need to see, and she brought that to me. She's like, this could be a big opportunity. I'm like, no. That's disrespectful to anybody who works hard to dunk. You can't just learn how to dunk in 8 weeks if you're just some random 5'8" guy. Then I found out he's a pretty good athlete. He does these transformations. He really dedicates himself when he goes and does this type of stuff. So I say, okay, you bring him through. I'll meet him. We did our initial assessment. He was 1 inch below the rim. So still really tough task to get a 5'8" guy who can't even touch 10 feet to dunk. But I figured, okay, you know, we might as well. I actually had more time because of COVID. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. And this is where the process started.
NBA performance specialist.
You guys don't need my introduction. You know who I am.
Quentin through our initial assessment so that we need to focus on during the program. From there, we're going to go into how they interact with the floor, how they actually produce force into the floor. So we want to get your landing a little bit softer. So what's the technique for that? So when you land, you're landing stiff knees.
So he had knee pain day one,
so
just on our assessment. So not only do we need to increase 8 weeks, we also have to get him out of knee pain and then increase his vertical all in 8 weeks. So it started with just simple stuff like that, like teaching him how to land. Not that landing hard is bad because we have to do it in games, but as a training implement to be able to handle plyometrics, to be able to land from maximal jumps, you got to learn how to land softer to decrease the impact on the joints.
If he's transitioning out of the bottom of the jump the right way, how well he
So he's a pretty good athlete.
So
like,
how well he can
Q is a good athlete. So he had a good base to work
out
with, and that's why I was pretty
total
confident
force
that we could get him to do it.
To his own body weight, and then that's going to help me sort of tailor the program to figure out what we need more of and what we need less of. Boom. 27.6.
So he had a 27-inch one-step
like
jump.
From a 15-foot approach and touch as high as he possibly can. And I'm going to see how he's utilizing his positions. You could have all the strength, all the power in the world, but if you have bad jump mechanics, you're not going to end up jumping very high. Hey.
So he's a ½ an inch below the rim.
So it's really tough to say exactly how much somebody can improve their vertical jump because it depends on their age and their training experience.
Yeah, so I'm basically breaking down that you
dunk.
can't just tell somebody, oh, you're going to gain 5 inches, you're going to gain 10 inches. I've had people gain 15 inches on the vert code, but I'm not going to tell somebody, hey, you could do that too. Because you have different genetics, you have different training experience. It's crazy to tell anybody that they can do this because the human body's too complex. So I always say, you know, train hard, train consistent, see where you end up. You're going to improve, and that's all we know.
So we probably need closer to 6 to 8 inches to be
able to do that. You need 6 to 8 inches to be able to dunk. We got to gain an inch a week. It's crazy.
Into 2 phases. Phase 1 is going to be relative strength phase. So we're trying to decrease Quentin's body fat and get his strength up so that we produce more relative force. We're going to also try to improve his...
For a lot of people here, we do 8 weeks of our Fat Don't Fly program, get you really lean while increasing your ability to produce force. Relative force goes up, bounce goes up. Q, I did some of that with him, but he was already pretty lean, so we really didn't have to strip off that much body fat, so that saved us a lot of time because he already had the physique.
His jump mechanics.
Boom. Yes, sir. I'm dying. It's like week 3. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
So today we're at the halfway mark on our journey. Quentin's been looking really good. So for the first phase, the main goal was building relative strength. So keeping his body weight the same or even losing a little bit of fat while building some muscle and getting stronger. So we wanted his core strength to improve. We wanted his unilateral strength to improve. So that's his single leg strength. Very, very important for jumping and for overall health.
So early on in a program, we don't want to increase plyometric volume by a lot. And so we'll do like extensive plyos, kind of low level stuff. But this is a good opportunity to kind of just build some strength and build those small little muscles that kind of get overlooked. And when you kind of build this base, one, it's going to help you later, but two, we're not going to flare up any pain, because when people start exercising, your body has to adapt to it. So when you start right away with intense plyometrics, your body's almost always going to break down. The problem with Q is we only have 8 weeks, so I can't do my normal patient long progressions. I got to go. So as soon as I know that you pass the stage and you're feeling good, I'm moving to that next point.
Health and keeping his knees nice and healthy throughout this process.
So he was doing stuff
in
at
that
home.
phase one, we really like to build the
He worked
base,
out
get
at
his
my
feet
house
strong,
one day
get
a
his
week,
ankles
and then the rest of the
strong,
time he was
improve
on
his squat to
Vert
body weight
Elite.
ratio. And Quentin did a great job. He really transformed his strength. His weight room numbers are up, and now he's ready to actually transition a little bit more into phase two.
So I'm in the...
So this is the point where he was actually in the chair. We were doing some recovery work, and we got the news that California was shutting down all gyms. So he couldn't do Vert Code Elite, so I had to switch him to Vert Code Bodyweight. A little bit of a setback because we're, getting close to the halfway point, and he's starting to make some good gains. And we had to switch him to Vert Code Bodyweight, but he got some great gains anyways. It doesn't matter.
All right, so we're just switching over to having to do everything at home, and it's definitely a little difficult. It's a little different from working out with Paul, having all that gym equipment. I'm still getting a workout in. I'm still tired. But this is going to be a little difficult. Like having somebody there pushing you, whole different ball game.
So today we're going to do a reassessment floor on the jump. That's a good jump. Woo! What's your highest jump ever? 3.02.
So you're above
That's
three times your body weight in peak force. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. That's like what we would see out of a lot of NBA players. So it's a good sign that he's already there.
On the landing, a big goal of ours was to actually reduce force on landing, because I think that was causing some problems in his knees. It was like 8 times his body weight in force every time he was landing. So the peak landing force, 4.35 times your body weight. When we started, you were 8 times your body weight. We're then gonna go over, do a 1-step jump. Woo!
27
32,
inches to 32.
27.
That's insane.
5 inches in 4 weeks. And
5
then we're gonna
inches
do
in
his
4
full
weeks.
approach jump
It's
from
insane.
a 15-foot build-up. Last time it was 30 inches. I would love to see a 33 or 34 today. We'll see where he's at.
Hey! You're up there. Let's make sure this 10 feet. Hold up,
Above the rim, you threw it down, hit back rim. I think the dunk's gonna go down. But to make sure, let's put another 2 or 3 inches on you.
Hey, that happened way too many times on that old court. I had this old Jordan court that was here when I bought the house, and it was so slippery. I told all these guys, don't do maximal jumps or do like a 1-step jump, because if you run into it, you're sliding. And it happened to so many people, and Q was one of the victims. We got a new court now, though. You'll see at the end, I think he's jumping on the new court.
Now we want to get those tendons really acting like rubber bands, like a spring, so we can store elastic energy. That all comes down to properly progressed plyometrics. So jump training, sprint training.
So getting into more of his
really everything that's
plyometric
higher
phase,
velocity,
his spring
moving
phase.
fast, moving explosive. That's what's going to
Everything in the weight room is going to be lighter weight, higher velocity, so super explosive. And then we did like 1 strength exercise per day, 2 to 3 days per week, just to maintain the strength that he built. But once you're transitioning into this phase where we're trying to really peak, things should be fast. The slow stuff does interfere with the fast stuff. That's what you got to understand. And so we want to maintain it by doing just a little bit. Maintenance is really easy. Building is hard. Maintenance is easy. So on the strength stuff, we did 1 exercise. So I'd give him like a rear foot elevated or something. Maintain that, and then work on the plyos, work on the sprint stuff, and then most importantly, just work on jump mechanics.
That's a fact. All right, we made it to week 8. Today is the moment of truth.
The day.
We're going to get Q warmed up.
What we've been working for the last 8 weeks.
The force plate test. We're going to get his max approach vertical. It's a 6-inch improvement. just on your standing vertical jump.
6 inches on
And then
standing vert is
the real
crazy.
moment of truth, we're going to see if he can.
Originally, I thought that we could do the 8 inches. I thought we could get him dunking, but a lot of it would be from jump mechanics. He gained 6 inches on his standing jump, which shows that's not just jump mechanics. That's pure power. It has lower body power because jump mechanics has very little to do with standing vert. That's just straight power. And 6 inches is crazy.
Actually get the dunk on 10 feet. I feel like physically Q is exactly where we want him to be.
Beyond
We
where
actually
we
surpassed
even
the amount of power
expected.
that I thought he would have right now.
Yep.
Now it's a matter of getting the pass down and getting his timing right and the approach angle, and everything has to be perfect, because at the end of the day, dunking isn't just athleticism, it's also a skill. And so right now, Q and I are really just trying to connect so that I can throw that pass at the right time and he can get up and do his thing and throw it down. First day, you were 1 inch below 10, so you were at this blue right here.
Okay.
Second time that we assessed, you put 4 inches on. That red is your visual goal. That'll give you 10-6, and that's beast mode. Yep. Hey, you're 1.5 inches away. Is the one right here. That's it!
Let's go.
Let's go. That's 10-6. Wow. You started at 9-11. You weren't even in the 10 club.
inch
You're now at
vertical.
10-6. You're high enough to go throw it down. Let's go see if you can do it.
Let's go.
It's going down.
Funny story behind this, I'll tell you in a second. Count
Synced
it.
it up. Timing was perfect. Yeah.
Bounces there.
Let's go.
Wow.
First dunk.
Some would say that I almost passed it in, but I'm still counting that. Funny story, though, is before this, our session before this, we were just practicing for the final day. I didn't even think he was going to get one. I threw it back, and he caught it back here and threw it down like a hard, legit dunk. He did it 2 or 3 times, and we weren't recording. He had the camera set up, and he wasn't recording. And so then we're like, okay, well, if you're doing it that easy, then we could easily do it the next day. Final day, final session, after the assessment, we're doing the dunks, and he was just back rim, because he was fatigued. He was tired from before. And then we threw that one down. That's the one that we got on camera. It wasn't his best one, but still counts. For somebody who couldn't even touch the rim, to throw that down is pretty legit. And then he does an even better one at the end of this video, I think.
Dunk in 8 weeks.
Let's go.
That's all there is to it. That's crazy.
Honestly, this last day took a little bit more than I thought it was going to take. But we out here. 7 inches.
7
Dunk.
inches on the vert.
7
8
inches is
weeks.
serious, man. In 8 weeks,
It's crazy.
that's serious.
Honestly, I think
Especially for
I'm gonna
a,
go back home. I'm gonna fit right into my
somebody
dunking
who's at his age. Because it's one thing to do, like if this is your first time ever training, you're going to get that vertical growth spurt. But it's somebody who's already been through, he did track and field in high school. I think he even did it in college. So like he's pretty well trained. So to gain 7 inches is insane.
I'm feeling like I can do anything now. So
That dunk right there.
what's next?
That dunk is legit. That was a bounce, 2-hand dunk. So yeah, 5'8" guy learns to dunk with NBA training. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. You guys can start on your process. Check out the Vert code bodyweight. Check out the Vert code elite. Fat don't fly. I got new programs coming out. So be on the lookout for those as well. Until next time, I'm out.